Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cash Flow Desk. Today, we're talking about something that can save you hours every week, and maybe even a couple of salaries worth of manual work. Automating your finance operations with just 5 tools. If you've ever felt buried in receipts, invoices, spreadsheets, and emails, this one's for you. Here's what we're going to cover. First, why automation is worth it, even if you're working with a small team. Then we'll break down the 5 tools you'll need to make it happen. And finally, how they work together, so your finance ops run themselves as much as possible. Before we get into the tools, let's talk about the why. Finance teams often spend way too much time on repetitive, low-value tasks, things like chasing down receipts, coding expenses, copy-pasting data between systems, and reconciling transactions by hand. The problem? All that busy work keeps you from doing the things that actually grow the business, like improving cash flow, forecasting, or advising leadership. Automation takes those repetitive tasks off your plate so you can focus on analysis, not admin. Let's start with spend control. And that's where Ramp comes in. Ramp is more than just a corporate card. It's a spend automation platform. Here's what it does really well. First, automatic receipt matching. Swipe the card, and Ramp pings you by text or email to snap a picture of the receipt. Second, real-time spend tracking. You can see exactly where the money's going as it happens. And third, smart policy enforcement. You set the limits by department or by employee, and the system enforces them for you automatically. Also, just recently, Ramp launched AI agents, basically digital assistants that can take finance tasks off your plate entirely. Think, chasing down missing receipts, identifying unusual spend, even suggesting ways to cut costs, all without you lifting a finger. So it's not just automation anymore. It's proactive financial ops help. No more chasing people for receipts 2 months after the fact, and no more mystery expenses showing up at month end. Once spending is under control, you need a home base for your financial data. For most small to mid-sized businesses, that's QuickBooks. QuickBooks acts as your general ledger, the master record for every transaction. When integrated with Ramp, transactions flow in automatically, already categorized. And that means less manual data entry, cleaner books, and a faster month-end close. Here's the cool part. QuickBooks has built-in tax prep and compliance tools. It can estimate your quarterly taxes automatically, keep track of deductible expenses, and even store all the records you'll need when it's time to file. So while Ramp is handling your day-to-day spend, QuickBooks is quietly making sure you're ready for tax season without the last-minute scramble. Pro tip while we're on this, when you start connecting these tools, don't just think about what can I automate. Think about where the data needs to live long-term. Your accounting system, like QuickBooks, should always be the single source of truth. Everything else, Ramp, Zapier, Google Sheets, Keeper, should feed into it or pull from it, not replace it. That way, you never end up with conflicting numbers across different systems, and your reports always match what's in the books. Here's where the magic happens. Zapier is like the universal remote for your software stack. It lets you connect tools that don't naturally talk to each other. No coding required. For example, let's say you want every paid invoice in QuickBooks to automatically update a cash-in tracker in Google Sheets. With Zapier, you can set up a simple zap to make that happen instantly. Here are a few real-world finance automations you can spin up with Zapier. Send a Slack alert the moment a client payment posts. Automatically add new Ramp transactions to your expense review list, and ping the team when a budget threshold gets hit. Think of it as your automation glue. Now, even with all the fancy tools out there, a lot of finance teams still live in Google Sheets for analysis and forecasting. Why? Well, because it's flexible, it's shareable, and it's easy to customize. Here's how it fits into the automation puzzle. You can pull data automatically from QuickBooks via Zapier or other connectors. You can use that live data to update your cash flow forecasts in real time, and you can share interactive dashboards with leadership without needing to export and email every week. It's the perfect middle ground, Your accounting system keeps the official records, but your Google Sheets give you the forward-looking insight. Finally, let's talk about the close process. If you've ever done a month-end close, you know it can feel like detective work, hunting down missing transactions, fixing miscodings, and reconciling balances. Keeper makes that process faster and cleaner by pulling in your QuickBooks data, by flagging potential issues automatically, like miscategorized expenses, and by tracking which close tasks are done and which ones are still open. It's basically project management built for accountants. And with Keeper, your month-end can go from a 2-week scramble to a smooth 3-day process. Let's connect the dots. Ramp handles spend at the source. Every transaction is tracked, categorized, and policy compliant from day one. Those transactions flow into QuickBooks, your central record-keeping system, which also keeps you tax-ready. Zapier makes sure any important events or data get pushed to the right places instantly. Google Sheets pulls live data from QuickBooks for forecasts, dashboards, and scenario planning. At month-end, Keeper audits and manages the close process, so the books are accurate and ready fast. It's a closed loop. Money gets spent, tracked, recorded, analyzed, and closed out, with humans only stepping in to review, not to manually push data around. All right, final thoughts. You don't need a giant finance tech stack to run a tight ship. With just 5 tools, you can automate about 80% of your finance operations. Ramp, for spend automation and AI agents. QuickBooks, your general ledger and tax prep. Zapier, to handle the integrations. Google Sheets, for forecasting. And Keeper, for close automation. The payoff? You get more accuracy, faster reporting, and hours, maybe even days, of your time back every single month. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe to the Cashflow Desk, and drop a comment with your favorite finance automation hack. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.